In this video I'm going to be doing a voiceover mainly, just because the camera sound quality is rubbish. I've managed to sort it out kind of now, but at this point the sound quality was rubbish, and also it mutes itself just as and when it decides it wants to, so you can start recording and then watch the videos back later and there's no bloody sound on it. So that's why I'm doing this at the minute. So what I'm doing is just cutting the plywood to size. I'm making the door as one big door to start with, and then as it's a stable door I'll cut it in half. I did it this way because it's just easier to work with one big door and then cut it in half rather than make two smaller ones. Because obviously I'll make this as one, and then when I cut it in half they will match exactly. Even if I cut them and it's not exactly square, the two halves will still mate up perfectly. So that was the main reason for this. I'm just using the track saw to cut these pieces to length and width. I'm now just applying wood glue around the outside. I'm going to go around the perimeter of the plywood with some 25mm squared pine. I'm using that size because that's the thickness of the insulation. So there you can see the lengths of wood are cut slightly oversized. Once they're glued and screwed down, I'll cut them to length, and then I am putting the pieces across the horizontal pieces in as well. And once they're done all the way around, I'm just putting the insulation inside. That's pretty basic, just whack the insulation in there, pretty simple. I'm screwing through the pine on this bit rather than screwing through the face of the plywood and have to fill the holes. I'm screwing through the back, so obviously these screw heads will be hidden because there's another sheet of plywood going over the top of them. So that's the reason for that. It can be a nightmare sometimes trying to find the screws that are the right size for jobs like this, but luckily I had some, I think they're just 30mm screws. I've just marked on the edge where all the screws are as well, just so when I come to put the hinges in or the locks and things like that, I don't have to chisel through a screw or screw through another screw. So here I am, just cutting the length. Oh, sorry, what am I doing there? Oh, there, we've skipped ahead a bit here. So I've gone around the perimeter with the 25mm wood, and then I've also insulated it there. And I'm just about to drop the second piece of plywood on top and fix that in place. As you can see, that grain's pretty cool on the back of there. So what you can see me doing here is just checking that the door is flat before I screw all these screws in. When you make a door like this, or anything like any box, because that's basically what it is, it's a box, as long as you've got something flat to make it on, and then whilst you screw it all together, it will come out perfectly flat. So I'm just checking there across the diagonals that the door is sitting flat against the van. Luckily this type of van has a pretty flat floor, so there you can see I've just stuck the vacuum cleaner on one end just to keep it weighted down, because once all the screws go in, it makes a torsion box, which is a really strong design, but it means you have to, before you screw it in, you have to get it really flat. Otherwise, once all the screws go in, it's held its shape, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you take it all apart and start again. The torsion box design is what aeroplane wings use. Super strong. And I'm not working in my best shirt there, that's a welding shirt, because I got sick of burning myself. There's so many scars on my arms from burning, because it just melts through most things. But this shirt smells really weird, but it stops anything burning through, which is cool. And also after a long day welding, I can just go straight out to the pub without even getting changed. Weird shirt smell masks the body odour. So I'm just testing here how rigid the door is, and it's pretty rigid. Track saw again, just chopping the door in half. Sorry for all the jerky movements in this video. It just got a bit of a pain really, so I've kind of rushed through this. I will improve for the next ones. I'm just sanding all the rough edges down. It's not a final sand, it's just a quick sand, so I don't get splinters whilst I'm handling the door. I've yet to stick on the fiberglass. The piece of fiberglass that I cut out for the door hole will be used to face the front of the door. I've just temporarily put the frame in, so I've got the door on the inside just to check the size and things. Alright, that grill looks pretty good actually. A bit of a gap to the top yet. Allowed 150mm between the top and the bottom, just for the tolerances. So looking pretty good. So time to cut a hole in the wall. I almost forgot to add on the thickness of the aluminium angle. I've got 4 pieces there. It's going to trim the door. It's also going to trim the outside of the frame. Obviously I need to allow for, I think it's 1.5mm. So I need to have another 6mm onto the size of the door and frame combined. So I've got the size of the door plus the aluminium, size of the frame, aluminium, and then I'm going to leave a gap of about 10mm for the hinges, and then just enough clearance for the door to open up. I'm going to start cutting the hole.
just before I forget, I screwed this piece batten onto the inside of the frame, because once the frame's fitted, I'll need somewhere to fix my plywood sheets that are going to make up the walls. So the plywood's going to go across these, and then obviously it's going to go up to the door frame, so it needs somewhere to fix into. And I'm just going to cut out a piece of insulation now to insulate that gap. It would be a pain to do afterwards.
So there it goes. Oh, the wall's falling away, but as if by magic. It went pretty easy actually. I just used a handsaw to cut that out, and then I just had to cut the rivets of the aluminium cross member, and it came out easily. So what I'm doing here is, from the outside, I'm just drilling pilot holes to screw in the fiberglass to the new frame. I'm going to use polyurethane adhesive, and then the screws are just there to hold the fiberglass against the wood until it sets. And there you can see I'm very speedily going along with the mastic gun and squirting in a shitload of adhesive. I put literally loads of that stuff in there. This thing will never fall off. That adhesive's amazing enough as it is, but when you put even more in, then it's even better. So I'm just going around now, zipping in all the screws. And then I think I just left it about a day just to fully cure, and then I just whizzed all the screws out. Surprisingly solid actually. I think the wood for the frame is only, I think it's about 3x2 pine, and it's surprising how strong it is. It's only a short span, I suppose. It's about 1.9 meters. So here I'm just explaining. Well, you probably noticed I've stuck the fiberglass on the front of the door. I'm just showing you the aluminium trim. This is what I'm using to go around the edges. This just covers up any bare edges of plywood, which can cause problems. So I'm coping the aluminium angle. I prefer this method to miters because it just looks neater. I always find a mitered corner just looks naff on the edges unless it's absolutely bang on, and I don't have a decent enough chop saw to do that, so I cope them out like this. This is what welders use as well for stuff like this. So you can just see I've cut out a square. It's basically the thickness of the aluminium, which is 25mm. So it's basically the depth of the aluminium, which is 1.5mm, and then the width of the aluminium. So it's like a 25mm square, and it's 1.5mm deep. So then that just sits on there like that. Definitely looks a lot neater.
I'm pretty pleased with how these copes have gone. Pretty square. I had to notch out about 8mm from the face of that one. Get it really really square doing that method. It looks a lot neater than miters for stuff like this. There we go. One done. I'll do the other one. We'll call it a day, I think.
I just thought I'd show you the finished door. It's actually been a few weeks since I've done it, and I've since painted the van on the outside. As you can see, looks quite neat. Quite impressed with it. So, see it in action. I've just had to send off for a new door handle because the last one was useless. Brown on the inside. Nice hefty hinges with the security notches on them. This is more aluminium angle all around the inside for the draft seal and water seal. Nice chunky lock stuff. This is the bottom step. I need to put another thresher along here just to stop any water getting in, but no water's going so far, so it's pretty good. This is all silicone around here and around this side, so any water that gets in through this gap, any water that gets in through here and runs down will stop there, and it can't run in any further. I'll show you the inside. Quite dark today, so I apologise for the dark video. I'm actually a little bit behind on this video. You're not supposed to see the window yet, so pretend you haven't seen it. I've just stained the inside with some English oak wood stain. I think it looks quite nice for the aluminium actually. It's turned out well. So that's pretty much it. Needs a coat of, I think I'm going to use oil or varnish, I'm not sure yet. But as it stands now, it's pretty much done, it's secure. And well, that's that.